call this meeting to order. It's Thursday, March 27th, 2025. It's 9:30 a.m. and you're here to discuss Transportation Department agreement for West Fork Pinecreek Bridge. And I will turn it over to our roads department. Jessica?
Sure. So this is a state and local agreement for the construction portion of a bridge rehabilitation. It's for the West Fork Pinecreek Bridge. Normally the state and locals I would just put on the Wednesday consent agenda and they would come through for signature. The reason that I asked for a separate meeting for this one is because it is a federal aid bridge, and on the federal aid bridges, we do have match to the tune of 7.34%. We had budgeted for our match this year. We had budgeted $73,400, and the construction estimates have come in high. So the match that we need to provide is more than what we have budgeted for. So the original match we had budgeted for was $73,400. Mm-hmm. The match came in at $106,888. So that leaves us with $33,488 difference for match that we have not budgeted for. Went back and forth with LTAC, kind of talked about how did things go awry, because, you know, they deal with entities like us all the time that we need to budget, you know, a year in advance to make this match. You know, nobody really knows the costs have pushed so much in the last couple of years that it pushed us from matching an amount of $1 million to $1.5 million. So trying to turn over every leaf to see how we can make this match. One option is obviously opening up the budget and, you know, dipping into our cash, which we have cash reserves. We just kind of had this discussion yesterday about what our finances look like. That makes me a little bit nervous dipping into our cash reserves when everything is uncertain with the SRS. I did reach out to Colleen and asked her if this is something that could possibly be a consideration for LATCF. I know that money is precious as well. So she brought to me that we had been awarded originally when the LATCF, you know, projects before the new board came on, the multiple projects that were funded. We came in under on 2 of our projects. We had an excavator purchase, a Mini X, and there's $3,200 left unused from that we were awarded. And then there was the generator project for all 4 of our shops. And so there is $14,350 left on that. Is that what you have, Colleen?
Depending on the 2 invoices.
Okay.
And if they were FY24, unless we do some JVs, then there's actually 16 in there.
Okay, 16. Okay.
14 or 16.
So that's a little better than I thought, because on the original, you know, 14,350, that would leave us with 17,550, unless we have a little bit more, like Colleen had just said, which would still leave us with a need for $15,938.
Now, do you foresee anything in your budget? I mean, how are you on everything in your budget? How's it tracking your budget?
Tracking pretty well. We did have some expenses earlier in the year that we had talked about, you know, possibly having to maybe look at opening up the budget later.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of carrying a spreadsheet on that. We're tracking good. We're tracking low, because we have been conservative with the SRS stuff. There's still a possibility that it could shake out, that if our bottom line is under at the end of the year, you know, this could be a non-issue. Our capital will be spent, so the money that we have in capital will be spent. There really shouldn't be any left in there, because we're budgeted for capital for the 2 pickup trucks, and then we're budgeted for capital for the balance when the new sanding trucks come in. We had a little bit from our budget, and then the bulk of it was going to be LATCF. So there's going to be really nothing left in capital. All of the other stuff, there's really not a lot of extra in there. So I just kind of wanted to have this conversation to see how the board feels, what you feel might be the best way to move forward. This bridge is desperately needed. It's the only access in and out of the West Fork of Pinecreek, and so we're able to get by with the rehabilitation, working on the piers, the deck, riprap, and things of that nature.
So we're rehabilitating it?
We're rehabilitating it. Normally, federal aid goes towards a bridge replacement, but this is one that they deemed would be a good candidate for a rehabilitation. So they're anticipating we'll get at least 50 years out of this. And you really, that's about what they estimate on a new bridge. So with the repairs they can do, it'll save us a lot of money. Otherwise, we'd be at about $4 million for this bridge replacement.
Okay. Now, how many other bridges do we have at this point that
are in federal aid?
That are in federal aid. So
we have one other one.
Okay, just one.
There is one that is a full replacement, and it's one of the Pinecreek Road bridges. And that one, they are trying to push up to go sooner. We're going to have a bigger match on that one.
Yeah.
We will be eligible for, on that one, a small match assistance through LTAC's LRIP program.
Okay.
But we'll still have to see a $230,000 match on that one.
And did you budget for that?
It's not this fiscal
year.
Yeah, it'll go next year. They're looking to advance that. Just because they have money left in their program. This year, normally with the federal aid bridges, they have a cap of $3 million. So if the bridge goes over $3 million, if it's a $4 million bridge, then the sponsor, us, would have to pay that $1 million plus our match on the $3 million. Been back and forth with them. That's too cost prohibitive for us. It would be better off to let the bridge fail and, have the government come in and take care of that. We just can't afford that much money. So they did find some extra money, on the Pinecreek Bridge to pay that difference because it will be a $4 million bridge.
Okay.
So they're going to actually supply that money, but we would have to match that. We would still have the 7.34% match.
On the total $4 million?
On the total $4 million. So.
And that's where you came up with 200.
Yeah, so it's actually the full match. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the full match is $330,000,
right.
And then with the LRIP assistance, it would bring it down to $230,000. So that's kind of in the hopper, something to think about, and we'll talk about that this fall a little bit more.
We probably need to really kind of budget our LATCF funds for. So okay. All right. Okay, so we just have, what do we think?
We're 15 short.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a little bit less short if, I'll meet with Colleen afterwards and make sure that our numbers jive. I don't want to short anything anywhere. But what I had in the numbers that I had, I came up with, still needing $15,938.
Okay.
Which is more like 16.
16.
But in the past, we have spent money to get money. So as much as I hate to spend our lettuce, I think that's better than losing the project.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what we're talking about is funding it basically with lettuce funds completely, but they have some left over. Okay.
So there's the $3 million that's in there in the kind of bottom line, but there's also about $300,000 of projects that have completed and come in under budget. So it's like 3.5.
Man, we need to talk about how we want to look at that because I don't think it should just hang there.
No, and I have in that spreadsheet I gave you, it has here's where it is and then here's what's put in.
Yeah.
So here's the adjusted amount.
Yeah.
And so there's, it is shown on that spreadsheet that I gave you there.
Okay. All right. So I'd entertain a motion to, if the board wants to go forward with the LATCF funds, I would entertain a motion on that. What's your thoughts?
I agree.
Okay. Then I'll motion that we make up this $16,000 on the West Fork Pinecreek Bridge using LATCF funds from our $3 million.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. We got it.
Perfect. And then pretty much all I would need to get this moving forward would be a signature from each of you
Okay.
on the agreement, and I have a clean copy if
Okay.
you guys need that.
This is the clean copy right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
We
And then
started charging for signatures. We can pay back our grant.
And then, Jeff, I just need one signature from you on this right-of-way completion of activities. Just states that we're not going to be working out of our right-of-way that we do not have authority to do. So just the perfect.
Do we want a separate motion for the agreement itself? Or what is it?
To sign
Yeah,
the
we
agreement.
probably should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll move that we sign the agreement that we've just voted to fund.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Sydney.
She's really good at this.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much.
Spending our lettuce.
It's really happy.
And I don't like to spend that when, before when we were afraid of budget shortfalls
Mm-hmm.
and they were going to pay the capital of the departments. That was something I insisted not to do for my department because we were great with
Mhm.
cash at that time. And so I really don't take this request to you guys lightly. I know how important these funds are to other areas of the county.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. We're adjourned.